Angelica Toy with Rebel News in Calgary, Alberta, and tonight thousands gathered here for a Candlelight Vigil in honor of Charlie Kirk. People of all ages have come out, some carrying candles, others holding signs to remember a man whose courage and conviction gave them a voice. Charlie Kirk, a prominent conservative activist and founder of Turning Point USA, was fatally shot on September 10th, 2025 at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. He was speaking outdoors under a tent, part of his American comeback tour, when a gunman fired a single shot and struck him in the neck. He was rushed to the hospital but died from injuries. A suspect, 22-year-old Tyler James Robinson, was arrested 2 days later, and authorities are treating this as political assassination. This vigil isn't just about mourning a loss, it is about celebrating and recommitting to the ideas that he championed. Around the world, vigils are being held, even stretching to South Korea. In this city and around the world, his legacy burns brightly in every candle raised. How has Charlie Kirk impacted your life?
It's really great to see that somebody somewhere is standing up for the rights that I believe, and you don't see that every day, you don't see that everywhere, especially not in Canada. And as a young Catholic Canadian girl, it's refreshing that we had someone to stand up for what I believe in. And you know what, he did get hated a lot, and I face the same things here a lot of the time. Lots of people yell at me and tell me I shouldn't have an opinion and things like that. And I related with him in a lot of things, and it was really inspiring to me.
I did get a chance to meet him, so I wanted to come out here and show support because I think it's absolutely awful what happened to his family.
It's helped me try to become a better husband.
He has had a huge impact on me in terms of being able to speak up and voice my faith and have the courage to be able to do so. It has been so impactful in my life.
Kind of growing up in the next generation of kids and looking around at my peers, I think Charlie was just able to really speak for all of us. He spoke kind of unceasingly, and he said kind of how it is. I think especially looking at being Christian people in this modern day, we're told to kind of sit down and shut up far too often, and he was just unceasing in his ability just to be able to communicate, I think, the love and the ability of Christ to everybody, but then also just to bring forward the ideas that I think a lot of us haven't been given the opportunity or the platform to say. So I think just for all of us, he's been very impactful in just giving the next generation a voice.
I started following him in high school and was actually against a lot of things he said at first. But as I listened more and more to him, and it's just his willingness to debate and his willingness to ask questions, it opened my eyes a lot. And I think we need to speak up more in Canada. Like, there's too many people just sitting by, being silent with everything that's going on, not asking questions, and in fact villainized for asking questions. And I think that needs to end. And I think he's sparked something today. You can see it here. Like, if you see how many people are here coming to support what he stood for, that's really important.
Especially in the wake of what's just happened, what he has done has shown us that we can lead the children, the students. They are being indoctrinated. They are being led in a direction that we would hope that they would learn to at least accept two sides of a story or to look into things themselves. And he was the voice that showed people that they can have a conversation and they can still love people, because ultimately, no matter who he was talking to, we as Christians are constantly being accused of being bigots and racists, and yet we have to admit that we get to heaven by grace alone, that we are sinners, we are evil in our own way. And so we are commanded to love those who are transgender, gay, you name it. And I can tell you in truth that I do, and that I do want the best for them. And I believe that Charlie did too. And no matter what someone's positions are as a Christian, what we are expected to do is to lead them to Christ, because eternity is a lot longer than this life, and we want the best for them.
We've been talking about it this week, and we've been watching him for years.
I've been watching him for several years, and he's really, I found that I agreed with a lot of what he said and the respect that he gives the people that he disagrees with.
He makes you think critically about things. And like as a fellow believer, he always spoke so strongly and boldly for his faith, and I always admired that so much about him. But like my sister said, just how kind he was, or just how he was able to disagree respectfully, and I think that's so important.
I predominantly started watching him during COVID, and I was in a point in my life where I wasn't sure if I wanted to go back to God. And there was something about like his message that just really sat with me and how faithful he was, and I was like, I need to get back in that. And then I continued to watch him, and I continued to follow him faithfully. And what angered me about the whole situation is that it took somebody to die before people see the value of Jesus. And he didn't die with no cause. He left a huge legacy. There's so many people here who were out here supporting him, and I've probably met like 50 new people. It was amazing, but I say that even though he's not here with us, he will still have an impact on my life every day, and I will still carry those philosophies that he carried every day with me. And I think with this whole thing, it just ignited me to like be more faithful, be more bold, be more courageous, and just walk without fear. And tonight was beautiful. Like, honestly, if I could go back and sing and worship with everybody again, I would do it in a heartbeat. It was amazing.
Bob's told me if I go over there that I get arrested.
You see all the people that are actually openly mocking and celebrating Charlie Kirk's passing. What would you say to those individuals?
Well, I would say to them that he was just trying to tell the truth. Like my sign here says, it's not hatred trying to tell somebody the truth. And there's no reason for them to be reacting to him the way that they are. He was always kind and always considerate of everyone that he ever debated and talked with. And so for this to happen to him and for him to be the one that's attacked, it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's hard. I think there's a lot of things that I want to say, but then I also know that the message that Charlie stood for is to love those who even don't agree with us. And that was what he wanted, was just an open platform for debate. And it's hard because that was a father and a husband, and just a really good man. But we need to respect the fact that these people have an opinion, and we're not here to shut that down and shut down a voice, but instead we're just giving the love of Jesus Christ to those people and praying for them and hoping that they can change their mind and see maybe the other side.
My heart hurts for them, in all honesty. It's only hurt people. I can only imagine it's hurt people that do that. And at the end of the day, like, he was a husband, he was a father, whether you agreed with him, disagreed with him. I didn't agree with everything he said, but
break down barriers, break down division.
Celebrating someone's death because they had a different opinion and were willing to ask the difficult questions. I pray for those people, and I really feel for them.
What's going on is a Christian persecution more than anything. I myself am a Christian, and I think that right now they want the people that are involved in what's happened to Charlie Kirk and his family, they want people to focus on the wrong things as opposed to looking at what's really going on so that they can continue this persecution to the Christians and their families. Our nations were strong when we had families, when we had God in the home, when we had fathers in the home. And I think the persecution that all of us have experienced the last couple of years in the pandemic alone is a little piece of what's going on right now, and it shows the greater picture of what they want to do. They want to make him as an example, but unfortunately it's not going to go that way. Christians right now, they need guidance and leadership, and they need to be patient in the storm that we're dealing with right now, and they need to know that Charlie himself, he took his approach to talking with people with grace. and unity. And he wanted to do things in a way that united people so that they could understand the love and mercy of God. And right now, that's the approach that we need to take. I think Christians, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, even if you don't agree with everything that Charlie says, you can't agree with anybody with everything they say. I don't even agree with everything I say or my father says or my family. We need to stick together under the banner of Christ.
It's hard to respond because I'm angry. All I can see is the injustice of his death right now and just the grief that we feel of the loss of him. I'm choosing to respond with grace, but it's not okay. And I'm not okay with it, and that's why I'm here.
If you have the audacity to mock and to cheer for somebody who has unfortunately passed away for just speaking his mind on what he wanted to stand for and his alliance with the Lord, you need Jesus. And I will say that to anybody who is cheering and mocking his death. He was a father, he was a husband, and he was a faithful leader. If anybody else passed away in the circumstances that he did, you guys probably wouldn't be cheering, but because you guys did not agree with his opinion, all of a sudden it's okay when it is not. He was somebody who had a life and so much potential.
First and foremost, Charlie was fighting for your right to disagree with him. And I think that's such a beautiful line because at the end of the day, he wasn't an evil person. He didn't do any harm. He never hurt anybody. He never did anything like that. All he did was stand up and hold a microphone. And I think that, if you're hating somebody for their freedom of speech in a country that supports freedom of speech, you should be looking in the mirror and asking yourself why. Why are you so threatened by a man who stood for what he believed? And why is that not allowed? Just because he disagreed with you, why are you hating him and demonizing him and saying terrible things about him and his family? Really, you should be looking in the mirror.
I understand you don't all agree with him and stuff, but he's still a human. He's still a person. He's still a father and a husband and someone's son. It's not okay to be doing things like that.
And I looked at the mainstream media and they had 14 quotes from Charlie, and half these things were either designed to divide, designed to incite anger from the other side towards us to continue this battle. And so I would just say to those who are Christians that Charlie has heard the words, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." He's run the race and he's finished it, and now it's our job. And the Bible is very clear that we do not wrestle with flesh and blood. We wrestle with principalities and powers and evil. And so what we need to keep in mind is that no matter how hurt we may feel at anything that's happened to us, at the end of the day, we will be able to see the Lord and say, He will say to us, "Well done, my good and faithful servant," even no matter how badly we've done. They will not. And our job is to lead them to Christ. That's the key thing for us to do, and to love them. Because what did Jesus say? He said, it was a great calling. He said, we are to love others as we would love ourselves. How hard is that to do with someone that's hating you? He said it's easy to love someone who loves you. It's very hard to love someone who does not love you, who actually hates on you, spits on you. And that is what we as Christians are called to do. That's a very high calling. And so we remind everyone that the father of all lies is the devil. And those people are being manipulated, and it's our job to ensure that they are led to Christ.
If you had a message for Erica Kirk, Charlie's wife, what message would you give to her?
Oh my gosh, that's a very hard question. My heart breaks for that woman. My heart breaks for those children. I mean, she is going to have a challenge having to deal with that for the rest of her life. I just remind her that there's a scripture that says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, plans to give you a hope and a future." Erica, you have a hope and a future. God has something in plan for you. He did not take your husband away from you to leave you destitute or in terrible condition. He has a good plan for your life.
We see you and we are here in support and we are going to fight with you.
Continue to trust in the Lord and to allow him to guide her steps and to not let Charlie's death be in vain. And I think that we can all get behind her and help her do that and really make an impact ourselves.
And my heart absolutely breaks right now for Charlie and his family, because the wife is now without a husband who she needed. The daughter is going to go without a father who's going to be able to protect her from any harm and danger that comes her way, like any bad guys that might want to, mess around with her when she's older. Or his son is going to be without a father that's going to guide him to be a good man. And so this is an example of what they want to do to all of us.
It doesn't make sense when loss comes, but I think even just looking around, the international impact that Charlie had on everybody. We're here in Alberta. And a lot of people haven't ever met him, haven't ever seen him, but he had an impact on all of us. And it doesn't make sense, but I think God is going to do some big things here and make some waves.
It wouldn't be any different than anyone else here. I think that our prayers are with you. Her husband and Turning Point it's just starting. Like this. Again, look around. This is just starting, and her mission to continue. I look forward to continuing to support her mission. Our family to continue supporting her mission.
You have so many people who love you, such a community, and it's such a blessing. Your husband has left a legacy for all of us, and we stand behind you in your faith as well as the Christian community. You're not alone. Your children will grow up and be the light of the world, and they will not lose that faith because they have such a great role model to look after. And I pray for you and your family every day, and I just pray for peace.
As of today, we are going through the legal process to officially start Turning Point Alberta.
My name is Mike LaRusso, and I've lived in Alberta for the past 4 to 5 years. And the last few days, Charlie's been a big influence on me and a big role model for me since I was probably 20. And I'm now 29, almost 30. And when he passed, I was angry. I was furious. I didn't know how to channel what I was feeling. And I was speaking to my wife earlier today. She said, I know how much you love Charlie and how much you follow him. And there's something you need to do, I think. And so as of today, we are going through the legal process to start Turning Point Alberta. We have contacted Turning Point USA. We have contacted Turning Point Canada, the national chapter. And we are working together in unison to make sure we have all the proper legal resources so we can do this right. We can continue Charlie's message. We can continue the conversation and make sure that people like us are never silenced again.
As always, stay strong and stay free, and never let your voice be silenced. For Rebel News, I'm Angelica Toy. If you want to stay up to date with all of our reports, please head to rebelnews.com.